Okay, so we're going to move to Eric Larson and NRCS. And Eric, the floor is yours for the water supply outlet. Everybody's some kind of water expert on this call, but not all the same kind. Eric, are you okay with clarifying questions on some of the jargon if it comes up, or would you like us to hold questions? How would you like to do this?
Yeah, you can stop me anytime with questions. That's no problem at all. Yep. And then I'll have time for questions at the end too, hopefully.
Yes.
Yep.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And folks, you can either unmute or I'll monitor the chat too, just in case. Appreciate it. I really appreciate the work you do, but we know that it's pretty technical sometimes. So we appreciate the reminders. Thanks, Eric. It's all yours.
Of course. Thank you, Karen. And yeah, should be just let me know if you can't see my screen. You should be able to see it by now. And I'll just get started here. So yeah, once again, I'm Eric and I'm the water supply specialist for the snow survey program here in Montana. So my region is the entire state of Montana and then northern Wyoming. I cover the Bighorn, Powder, and Tongue River basins. This presentation is specific to the Gallatin watershed only. And it's just basically a snowpack and water supply forecast update. And I know many of you were at the Gallatin County Courthouse for the spring water meeting about a month ago. This is a fairly similar presentation, just with updated numbers. And then I also included some different charts, some newer charts that help explain like percentiles and stuff a little bit better. So yeah, I don't think it's a surprise to any of you that it's been a relatively low snow year, which, so my goal for today is to kind of just point out how low that it's been this year and kind of what that means for us this upcoming runoff season. So kick it off here with some general information. So yeah, this is specific, as I mentioned, to the Gallatin watershed. So I'm going to break this down into three sections: precipitation, snowpack, and then which of course our snowpack is built from our precipitation throughout the winter, and then the forecasts, the primary predictors for our forecasts that the NRCS produces are precipitation and snowpack. So I'll walk you through those three things. The three gauges that I'm going to be showing the forecasts for are the Gallatin River at Logan, Highlight Reservoir inflow, and then Gallatin at Gateway. And so just to be clear, the precipitation data I'm going to be walking through is from SNOTEL sites only. So it's mountain precipitation. Snowpack data comes from snow courses and SNOTEL sites. So snow courses are manually measured once a month, January 1st through June 1st. And there's 5 of them that are used for the Gallatin numbers. And then there are 7 SNOTEL sites that are associated with the Gallatin Basin. All percentages reference that 91 to 2020 period. And for the median, also known as normal, percent of normal. Percentiles reference the period of record. And then on the right there, you can see the snow water equivalent period of record for the SNOTEL sites in the area. So like Lick Creek, 61 years of record, 59 for Shower Falls. So quite a bit of data record for the SWE, or snow water equivalent. And precipitation has slightly shorter period of record. We've just been measuring the snowpack longer than precipitation. But yeah, that last bullet there too. So snow water equivalent is of course the inches of water in the snowpack. So if you were to melt snow instantaneously, how many inches of water would be sitting there on the ground? All right, so starting off with precipitation. So this is water year precipitation in the Gallatin River Basin. So October 1st of 2023 through yesterday. So first thing this morning is when these readings came from. And 88% is the official number. SNOTEL sites only. And yeah. Next slide is precipitation since October 1st. So as a percentile, looking at all those same base or same SNOTELs, let me do this quick. So you got your current, so this is the same current number. total precipitation since October 1st and how that ranks as a percentile. And then I got the minimum and the year, so the minimum total over that time, and then the year that that occurred. So 2001, 1987, 1994 were all really low precipitation years in the Gallatin. And then the maximum, and of course 97, 2017, 2018 were pretty big years for overall water year precipitation. And then the number of precipitation observations. So biggest things to point out here is the bridgers. You know, you got Brackett Creek Snowtell and Sacagawea Snowtell. Water year precipitation currently only in the 4th and 3rd percentile. So certainly a low water, or low year of precipitation and snowpack in that region. And you'll remember, I'm sure y'all remember, just January through or November through most of January, just really dry and warm conditions. And February kind of picked up a little bit this year, but March and April were not as wet, not as much moisture as we needed. So then moving over to Snowpack. So this is our monthly Snowpack. So it includes the snow courses also. So a total of 12 stations. Measured, the snow courses are measured like the last week leading up to the 1st of the month. And so it was 66% for the Gallatin on May 1st with that slightly larger data set. And the way that this percentage is calculated, both for precipitation, any of these percentages, is just a sum of the current, the observations, sum of that, and then the sum of the median, and then those two divided. So just so you're kind of aware how that's calculated. 66% on May 1st. And of course, we've had a lot of precipitation since then, so I'll show you those updated numbers with Snowtell sites too. But this is actually still May 1st, but I wanted to show you this because it's just Snowtell only. So the Beaver Creek or all of them are just the same observed from that last slide, except it's not including the snow courses. So just showing you how that can kind of change with the slightly smaller data set, 70% on May 1st with just Snowtell versus that 66. And okay, so this is more current. I actually started creating this presentation last Friday, and so this is Snowpack on Friday, and I kept this one on there because I'm going to talk a little bit about this here, where we got this 2,500% for Lick Creek Snowtell on Friday. But as of this morning, this is what the Snowpack is. In the Gallatin River Basin, 96%, which, it sounds like some people might be like, oh, we made this amazing recovery. But I'm going to kind of talk you through on some of these next slides why, especially when you get into like later in the season here, mid-May to late May, like the percentages can be somewhat misleading. So, for example, the 2,500, because normally, or the median value for Lick Creek Snowtell is 0.2 for May 24th, but there's 5 inches. So that's where you get in the 5 divided by 0.2 is 2,500%. So, and that's explained a little bit better on this slide right here. So Lick Creek Snowtell, May 24th, so last Friday. These are our snow water equivalent plots. So you got your on vertical axis, snow water equivalent. Horizontal is your date range for the whole water year. And then these are daily values. So your daily maximum for the whole period of record. So it's not an individual year. So 1997 probably made up a good portion of this top line, but it's a combination of a bunch of years. Same with the daily minimum for the period of record. And 2024, the current year, is always in black. Daily median actually references 91 to 2020 on this chart because that's what the percentage is being calculated from. So, for example, there's that 0.2, or is the median value for that 91 to 2020 time frame. But on May 24th, we had 5 inches at Lick Creek, so there's that huge number. But just pointing out that, as you recall from this year, it's just a really low snow year, especially up in Highlight. Record low snowpack for a good chunk of the year. And then we did have a pretty good rebound more recently, but just pointing out like how low it was and like where it peaked at this year, like 9-ish inches of snow water equivalent compared to the median peak SWE, which is right here of 12.9. And the way this is calculated is just the median peak date and the median peak amplitude, or you know, highest point it gets throughout the year separately, such as plotted as a point, because it's this high point here is buffered because it peaks on a different date every year. It's not a true peak. This is the true median peak right here. Yeah, so that's how those charts work. So looking at it basin wide, this is the whole Gallatin, so all 7 of the Snowtail sites. It's daily data, so it does not incorporate snow courses. But you know, record low snowpack from about mid-December all the way up through about March 1st. Made some gains, you know, March and April, but had some pretty significant melt in April too. Nice little starting to rebound in early May, but then we've had a lot of melt since then. So that's where we're getting our 10.2 divided by 10.6 is that 96% for Snowtail sites on the 28th of May. And just the last thing to point out about this is where it peaked, or it appears to, I can't imagine we'd get a higher peak than this year. Might have some more accumulations at upper elevations, but a lot of the lower snow has melted out already too. So it's probably not going to see a larger peak, but 14.8 compared to 21.9. Not great this year, and to say the least. And yeah, so that's kind of what I wanted to point out. 96%, but very low snow year. Okay, so comparing it to some other snow years. So if you haven't found out by planning with these charts yet, you can actually click on and off different years and kind of plot them on the same chart. So I got 2024 on here. And I went through a few years and just found some similar snowpack years in the Gallatin. This isn't a totally comprehensive list of all the other low snow years on the list, but it's a few of them. 2022 was relatively low snow year, especially up to April 1st. Record low snowpack on April 1st in the Gallatin. Then, as I'm sure you recall, significant accumulations through May. It peaked, the snowpack peaked late. And then, of course, we had the flood in June. But yeah, this year, lower snowpack than 2022. That's how the two compare. 2007 was another low snow year in the Gallatin. Pretty good start to the year. Record low around February, and then it melted out fast and early. 2001, another low snow year in the Gallatin. Started off better than 2024, and then it kind of crossed on March 1st, record low from March to April, and then once again peaked low and ran off early, very early in the Gallatin in 2001. So then looking at those years as an example, this is our 2024 May 1st snowpack. So there's that 66% showed you, including the snow courses. 2022, of course, April was a pretty lot of moisture in April, pretty big month. So 92%, 2022, 2007, 68, and then 76 in 2001. And then the resulting stream flows for those years. You know, good recovery, 2022, but 2007, 2001, well below normal runoff. All right, so moving on to the forecasts. So the NRCS provides water supply forecasts, total volumetric water supply forecasts for the season. It's a total volume of water that will flow past a certain point on a river. So for example, they're mostly for USGS stream gauges. We have 4 publication dates, March 1st through June 1st. Each one of those publication dates has a different time period that total volume of water is forecasted for. So the ones I'm going to be showing you are for May 1st. So it'll be for May through July and then May through September, 2 different forecasts. But then next week we will be publishing our June 1st through June 1st forecast, which will be for those time periods. And the way that this works is for each gauge and each time period, there's 5 exceedance probabilities. So you got your 90%. So the forecasted volume for the 90% exceedance is saying that there's a 90% chance that flows will exceed this forecasted volume. And then all the way down to the 10%, there's a 10% chance that this forecasted volume will exceed this volume. So yeah, that's how it works. So it gives you a little bit of a range based off future weather, because a lot of times that can change that forecast big time. But since I'm giving you the May 1st forecast, let's talk a little bit back up, talk about precipitation since May 1st. These are precipitation at SNOTEL sites, 118% since May 1st. So yeah, it's been a good month. Certainly going to need more precipitation moving forward. These are the forecasts. So Gallatin River near Gateway, highlight reservoir inflow, and then Logan for the specified time periods for each. And then you have each one of these ticks are your exceedance probabilities. So looking at Gateway, May through July, 245,000 acre feet. And then if you draw a line straight down from any one of those forecast points, you'll get how that compares to median observed flows for the 91 to 2020 time period. So in this case, if it, well below normal precipitation would result closer to this. Well above normal precipitation would result closer to this. And then normal precipitation after these forecasts are published would likely be closer to the 50% exceedance. So I guess the major takeaways from this are even at the 10% exceedance for all gauges within the Gallatin, or even still below normal flows for all time periods upcoming season. So yeah, really be hoping for more precipitation so we can end up more in this range and be in the 90 to 100% this summer. And I think that's all I wanted to mention about that. Yeah, so I guess in summary, Snowpack is at 88, or water year precipitation's at 88% of median since October 1st. Snowpack is at 96% of median, but keep in mind, near low or record low snowpack for most of the season. And the snowpack peaked well below normal, and the mid to low elevation snowpack has melted out or is near melted out. And biggest thing to note about the water supply forecasts is that the 10% exceedance, even with well above normal precipitation, is still only in that 85 to 95% range for total volumetric flow for this upcoming season. And with that said, do you guys have any questions?